This video is sponsored by scdkeys.com. They've got great deals on all kinds of games as well as PC software. Specifically, they've got Windows 10 Pro OEM for just $14, so if you go on their site, type in Windows 10, you'll find it available right now. You can buy it, and you can take advantage of the promo code CM1 to save an additional 10%, so you'll be getting it a little bit cheaper. You can decide on your method of payment, check out, and bam, there you go. Now you've got Windows 10 a little bit cheaper. You can also use the code CM2 on games to save 3%, so take advantage of that as well. Now on to the video. Hey, how's it going, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to cover a couple of things in this video, including the Devil May Cry 5 PC system requirements. Those have been detailed, and the game itself isn't being released until March, so we're still 6 months away from DMC5 being released. However, getting the system requirements is definitely a plus. This is a lot earlier than the majority of games reveal their system requirements, so that's a plus, although there has been a little bit of controversy surrounding this game, from the microtransactions, the new character they unveiled, some of the music in the game, so I want to give my input on that. On top of that, if you missed out on the Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 4 premium passes that Origin was giving out absolutely free, those are back alive again, so you have another chance to take advantage of those. You should definitely take advantage of the BF1 premium pass. That's a really solid set of expansions, and getting it absolutely free is definitely nice. And I do want to talk a little bit about Telltale Games. Of course, they are going through some turmoil right now. It looks like they're going to be closed, and we don't know what's happening with The Walking Dead. However, they did give us a little bit of an update, and I do want to give you guys my thoughts on Telltale because they're a studio that I've talked quite a bit about on this channel. I actually played through the entirety of The Walking Dead Season 1 on this channel. I streamed it live on Twitch years ago. One of my fondest memories of being this internet presence was playing through The Walking Dead on Twitch. I had so much fun playing through that game. So for me, this does hurt me a little more. But we'll get to that at the end of this video. First, let's take a look at the Devil May Cry 5 PC system requirements, and actually before that, I want to give you guys some background and what I think of this game. Now, DMC5 is a return to form kind of for DMC after the release of DMC Devil May Cry, the one that Ninja Theory did. That was kind of a reimagining of DMC. Everybody hated how Dante looked, but the people that actually played that game thoroughly enjoyed it. It had some great gameplay, some great set pieces, pretty interesting story. Unfortunately, some people were just turned off by how Dante looked, and honestly, I'm in that camp even though I enjoyed the game a lot. With Devil May Cry 5, you have Dante in his original form back. Nero is in the game. That was the main character from DMC4. And then we have this new character, this guy named V. Honestly, looking at him, I'm turned off by his appearance, but gameplay-wise, Devil May Cry 5 looks top-notch. Now, another unfortunate issue with DMC5 is the fact that this game will have some microtransactions. If you want to get some of the skill upgrades in the game, you can just pay for them, and I just think that's completely whack. They had an absolutely BS explanation for it, where they said that we're gonna give players the option if they want to play through the game with all the skills. Back in the day, there was this thing called cheat codes. We were in charge for it, and cheat codes allowed you to play through the games even easier. These cheat codes were readily available even in Capcom titles such as Mega Man X. I remember using a cheat code in Mega Man X4 and just destroying that game. Now, you could make the argument that, well, back in the day, the internet wasn't as prevalent and these cheat codes were offered in magazines. Honestly, if you're in that camp, it wasn't that difficult to find these cheat codes. I don't think cheat codes were ever implemented in games to try to get money from people. That wasn't the case at all. So if you want to give that option should be offered some other way, just in the game somehow. That would be fine, but obviously they're going to be nickel and diming you. And on top of that, there was some controversy with Dante's theme in the game. Capcom is changing that, so that isn't a worry anymore. So I just wanted to give you guys the groundwork of that game. DMC5 still looks awesome. I think from a gameplay standpoint, the game looks excellent, and I'm still definitely excited to play it. So now let's talk about the system requirements. And they are quite hefty. On the minimum CPU side of things, you're looking at an Intel Core i7 4770 3.4 GHz or better. When do you see i7 listed as a minimum? That's a little insane. Minimum RAM requirement is 8 GB. Minimum GPU is GTX 760, so that's rather old. And then on the recommended side of things, you have an i7 4770 listed once again, 8 GB of RAM, and then a GTX 960 or better. So on the GPU side of things, relatively low end. That CPU has me scratching my head a little bit. Hopefully the game's gonna be absolutely fine on Intel Core i5s, but having an i7 listed on minimum is very, very abnormal. It also states that the storage requirement will be 35 GB. That's gonna fluctuate through the development of the game depending on whether they release updates, DLCs, things like that. So I would take that as a placeholder for now. Moving on from that, I want to give a mention to the Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4 premium passes being free once again on Origin. This is a great incentive to pick up BF1 because with the premium pass, it really opens up that game to a great degree. Now, I believe these games are both a part of the EA Origin Access program, so if you're signed up for that, no real use in taking advantage of this. However, actually, if you do add this to your library, you'll have it even if your subscription expires, so really no reason not to take advantage of this whenever something is free and you don't own that free piece of content, even though you have no interest in it right now. Sometime down the line, people may reminisce and think of Battlefield 1 as one of the best Battlefield games of all time for whatever reason. And look, if you took advantage of this, you'll have the premium pass ready to go. And by the way, BF4's premium pass is free as well. So that's a cool addition on top of that. Battlefield 5, unfortunately, doesn't have a ton of hype surrounding it right now. Hopefully that does change. It was pushed back a little bit. It's gonna come a month after Black Ops 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2, so timing-wise, I do think that's a lot better. And lastly, I thought we'd end this with the most depressing news, and that's Telltale Games' closure. Honestly, this came out of complete left field for me. I was not expecting this at all. I thought Telltale was doing rather well. They've been releasing game after game after game, and yes, some of the game releases did seem a little bit lazy to me, but they still put out excellent games like Tales from the Borderlands, all of the Walking Dead titles, The Wolf Among Us. I thought Batman, a Telltale series, was quite good as well, but unfortunately, it looks like from a commercial standpoint, their games weren't doing all too well, and now, with them closing, a lot of people are wondering what's gonna happen with The Walking Dead, the final season. We've spent all this time following Clementine on her journey, and to just have it end abruptly without a proper conclusion, that would be incredibly disappointing after all that we've invested into this franchise. And Telltale Games did put out a tweet saying that, quote, "Hi everyone, we have a Walking Dead update for you. Multiple potential partners have stepped forward to express interest in helping to see the Walking Dead final season through to completion. While we can't make any promises today, we are actively working towards a solution that will allow episodes 3 and 4 to be completed and released in some form. In the meantime, episode 2 will be released tomorrow across all platforms as planned. We hope to have answers for your other questions soon." Now that's great. Hopefully The Walking Dead, the final season, can see a proper conclusion, because again, at this point, we've invested, what, over half a decade into this franchise? We need a proper conclusion for a game that's been entirely story and character driven. Now, the other burning question as far as the game development goes, I know it's kind of odd and probably an ass move to focus on the games that they're putting out and not worrying about the jobs and whatnot, but that already goes without saying. It sucks that a lot of talented developers are losing their job, but here I would just want to focus on the games that they had in the works. And of course, they also had The Wolf Among Us Season 2 in the works, so I'm questioning how that's going to turn out. Obviously, right now, that's not going to come to fruition, but hopefully a potential partner picks that up as well. Hopefully everyone that was affected by Telltale's closure finds their footing soon and can join another team and offer their experience to that team, because they're all very talented people. But yeah, studio closing down is always crappy news. We had Capcom Vancouver, the guys behind Dead Rising, recently closed down, so a lot of people left without employment, and that always sucks. The gaming industry is just generally a very volatile industry, so it's not like things like this haven't happened in the past, but still, it sucks nonetheless. So that's gonna conclude this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Devil May Cry 5. Is it a game you're excited for, or are you not too familiar with DMC? I know on the PC side of things, DMC really isn't all too known. I've always went to bat for it. I've always recommended DMC Devil May Cry, and with Devil May Cry 5, with a return to form for the franchise, I could see something good, even though it has microtransactions, even though I'm not completely sold on V, that third new character they introduced. The gameplay still looks as slick as ever. Again, Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4 Premium are free this week. Again, make sure you check that out. Free content is always easy to recommend, and Telltale does say that potential partners could finish The Walking Dead the final season. Let's hope that is the case. And that's gonna wrap up this one. If you guys have a request for a future video, leave it in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.